So here's how to actually become productive and start getting shit done. And to show you that I know what I'm talking about, I will show you my case study of being productive and 2 schedules, which are very different. So this is a schedule from December 2023, and I want to ask you a question. Do you think this is productive? Well, it's packed. I did a lot of stuff. Let's just go to my normal day. I would wake up at 3:30 a.m. I would do some YouTube stuff. I would learn some more. I would do some YouTube more. I would go to the gym. I would do YouTube. I would learn. I would study for school, and I would go to bed. Seems productive, right? But in reality, let's see at the results we got. My output for this week was 1 video, which isn't a lot because I made YouTube my top 1 priority, and I spent like what, 12 hours out of 150? So it's literally 1/15th of my time I spent on what I said was gonna be my number 1 priority, which is kind of weird, right? I watched 20% of 3 different courses, which means I touched the basis of all 3 topics like mental health, YouTube, and make money online and stuff. And I got a 1 month burnout. I had lowest mental health in my life. I would literally wake up with anxiety. I would breathe short, fast. It would be just hard for me to breathe. And throughout the whole day, I would feel so stressed because I had to do so much stuff done. I had then it was awful. And just 1 week later, you can actually see that in great stuff, it's just some BS stuff. I would just watch YouTube, watch anime, watch Sherlock, watch Minecraft, watch some Flash series, I did, have some gym, but that's a rut. That's a whole rut. Didn't do anything productive after that. So 3 months later, I had my final school exams, and I had my school season, which I decided basically if I'm gonna end school, I might as well, end it with a good grade. Just for fun, for confidence. And so I decided, I learned from my mistakes and I made a new schedule in April. So it's just 1, 2, 3, just a few months after that. And it's quite different. You probably can't see it, but we'll get into that later. Basically, let's walk through my day. I would just wake up, I would do the studying, I would do some pull-ups, I would eat, and I would do some studying more. I would go on a run, I would study some more, I would help my brother, and I would go to sleep. And basically that's every day. And it's quite consistent. If you can see, it's like 5 hours every single day. Maybe here 2 hours, okay. So my output was in 3 weeks. I got in mathematics, like it's a past paper, which is basically a test, which I'm gonna take, which I already took, but I went from 63 marks to 110 marks, which is basically doubling my score in mathematics. I learned 2 times more than I learned for 11 years in just 3 weeks. So my output was from C+ to A* grade in just 3 weeks. Challenging, but much easier. It still was hard. It wasn't easy. I'm not gonna fucking bullshit you. You still have to do the work. You have still to do but it was way less stressful on me. I would just wake up, I know, okay, I gotta do 4 hours of, studying, okay, then I go gym, okay, then I do some more studying, okay, then I might read something and go to sleep. It's much easier, it's not as stressful because in this example, I was just doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 10 to 15 things. Look at this monstrosity over here. It's so demanding on our brain. And I thought it was productive, so yeah, and I felt free because I even went on a run, and when you run, I actually went to some nearby forest, and it was so peaceful. It was so awesome, honestly. And this experience was very different from this experience. So what's the difference between them? Well, you can actually see it for yourself and tell me. And that's the first schedule, and that's the second schedule. I already touched upon it a little bit, but the answer is simplicity. Just make it simple. Less is more is a very good phrase for this. So why simplicity is so OP, and why do I attribute this whole, success of getting a A* grade basically in just 1 month, ace in school system? Why is it simplicity that did it? Well, it's much easier to do when your schedule is simple. When you just have 2 to 5 things done instead of 20, think about how much easier. It's like 4, 5, 10 times easier to do. because you just have less stuff to do. Simplicity is bliss. The more moving parts a machine had, the more likely it is to break. That's a quote from Chris Miracle from like Rough Club. Absolutely perfect. The more moving parts a machine had, the more likely it is to break. I had, what, 20 parts in like 5 hours? That's just nonsense. Honestly, what is this monstrosity? So the second point is you enjoy doing the thing more. Because you actually, let's talk about dopamine a bit so you understand this concept. When your dopamine is very high like this, your motivation is very low. And when you overstimulate yourself with all the different tasks, we love novelty, absolutely love it. Our motivation is actually trash. So if you do less thing, we get less dopamine and our motivation is higher. It's up here. So more dopamine, less motivation. Less dopamine is more motivation, because if you just think about it, you need more dopamine, you need more stimulation, more reward in order to take action. Literally think about a monk. If he couldn't be a monk anymore and he was saying, okay, in the real world, you gotta make some money. Do you think he will struggle to record YouTube videos, to learn about YouTube, or to do any kind of work at all? No, because he would just starve in with his dopamine. His dopamine baseline is like so low that, even just looking at a bird is just so fun for him. That's how it works. So if we do this with amount of tasks, here's the stimulation amount of tasks graph. So the more tasks you have, the higher the stimulation, which means your dopamine is also higher, but at some point it plateaus. And if we actually look at this, plateau of dopamine, when you have a fuck ton of dopamine in your system, you have ADHD because you can't focus, your brain always wandering, and you feel depressed because you just can't do shit. You just you're a subhuman. It's not how it's supposed to be. In nature, you can't reach this level by definition of being, average dopamine. So in this part, you are still overstimulated. You don't have that much problem, which is basically what most of us people in self-improvement are. And when you basically watch, these even Hamza videos, when you watch, 5 podcasts in one day, you don't really have the capacity to analyze and take action on all of them. So it's just surface level, and you just stimulate yourself. Even though you're thinking that self-improvement videos is good, yes, it is better than watching some stupid Minecraft videos, but you still overstimulate yourself. It doesn't really help you that much. That's just what I did, right? Like in this routine, right? I just overstimulated myself with the amount of productive things I could do. So I want you to get to this understimulated point, which I'm going towards, and which allowed me, which I already went to, like in this example, right? Which is basically understimulation. I was just studying, running, studying. Where is the stimulation? I didn't watch any content except for studying, which is amazing. I felt awesome during that because I was just in a flow. I was so focused, which is basically the next point. I want you to get to this understimulated state, just to end this up, because their stimulation is low. So the amount of tasks is also low. So your dopamine is also low. And as we here, learned from this one, less dopamine, more motivation. You are more motivated and you enjoy doing the thing more. That's the gist of it. So yeah, when you're understimulated, your dopamine is low and your motivation is high. Simple as that. It might be kind of complicated with this graph, but basically this one is what you need to remember. If you do less stimulating stuff, you have more motivation. That's all. And you just get better results at what you do if your schedule is more simple. Because you just focus on these 2 to 5 tasks and you have much more attention for each of them. You are much more present. If you know anything about flow, it can't be disrupted by multitasking, by switching tasks, which is a fucking disaster here. Do you think I was in a flow? No. Hell no. It was awful. So, fourth point and last one is that you have more free time to do shit that matters to you. Honestly, if you can just see it, like, even in this stuff. Now, imagine studies is over. I don't need to remember anything in 1 month and not having any exams. I can just, replace this with YouTube and replace this with, I don't know, reading, learning, doing something productive, and I can replace this with something else. It's just less moving parts, so it's much easier, and you will probably have more free time because of it. So how to make your schedule simpler? I hope I convinced you with this 4 points. And a simple rule whenever I'm planning my day or week is to subtract, not add. It's such an OP way because you should just sacrifice for your future self. It sounds kind of scary, and this word sacrifice has a bad connotation, but in reality, you can't have it all. You can have only so much good habits in your day because we're limited by time, we're limited by our brain points, we're limited by, our school or other responsibilities. So we should pick what we do on our daily basis carefully. So in this example, this is my new routine, which I'm gonna go through, which I already know 70% of that I do every single day. So I wake up, I do YouTube. I learn YouTube, then I go to the gym. I learn, Polish because I kind of have to. I'm gonna move to Poland and stuff. I have, some more learning, some coaching calls, and then I just fucking walk for 5 hours. I walk, I think about my life, I think about what I could do for YouTube, I come up with different ideas, I think about my life direction, and if I want to, I just stop, at some bench, stop at some, basically some spot, and I have this beautiful, like, iPad. It's kind of old, so no, YouTube, no games on it because it's just iOS is too outdated, and I just use it for reading because books isn't outdated, right? And I just use it for reading, so I just pop it off, and I just read for hours and hours, and it's awesome. So I haven't really done much with myself, but I know that it works because I've done it just a few times, and it's fucking amazing. So you can really replace this with anything else. It might be your school. Right here, if you don't wake up at 7 a.m., I'm gonna go to like 5 a.m. in a few weeks, so it's fine. Basically, it's much simpler because I already sacrificed all the bullshit. I already prioritized YouTube. I already, do you think I have time to fap when I'm on a walk, to read, to think about my future? Do you think I'm gonna fap? No, because I'm not miserable, I'm not overstimulated, I don't feel bad because I already did the hard workout. I already did my YouTube stuff. I already learned about YouTube. I already did all the necessary stuff I needed to get done here in this part of my day. And now I can do anything I want with this 5 hours. I could literally, replace it volleyball, swimming, hiking, I don't know, doing martial arts, learning, watching Hamza, I don't know, watching courses. Imagine I have a course which I really love and I want to get it done. I can get 20 hours in 4 days because I just simplified my schedule. So my 3 MITs planner, in the end, you can see I actually have this, planned 3 MITs. MIT is a term which is basically most important task, which gives you 80% of the result. Focus on doing 3 most important tasks that will get me 80% of the results. That's literally my planner. I have it every single day on, my every browser tab open with my Google Calendar and some other stuff, but put successful mark if you did 2 or 3 MITs and put cross mark if you did less than 0 or 1 MITs, which is basically if I move in the right direction, if I do the most important stuff, I am good. I put the successful mark. So it's basically like a habit tracker, but in terms of being productive, which is much easier than even looking at this stuff. This stuff is kind of oversimplified, Administration, meditation, approach. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's still 10, 11 things I need to get done in a day, but really most important of them are just these 3, let's say. Let's pick just one day, which is today, 2206, 2024, and 3 MITs is record and upload a video, which is what I'm doing. I already created title, thumbnail. I'm gonna upload this as soon as I finish recording. Read Essentials for 3 hours. After recording this video, I'm gonna... Yeah, one sec, I'm actually gonna show you. Why not? So here's my actual Google Calendar for today, which I basically woke up. I went on the study call because it was very early. I did the thumbnail. I'm recording my video now. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna, set up bank account, do some, business stuff. I'm gonna watch some Power of Falcon video, and I'm gonna just fucking read for 3 hours. I'm gonna go then and buy you know, Running Torch, Vaseline, Blister Pad, Fruit Power, because I basically gonna run 13 hours, which is kind of insane, but yeah, I, I have to kind of buy supplies, right? And then I would just read again for 4 hours. So I'm gonna read Essentialism, and I'm gonna buy Running Torch, Vaseline, Blister Pads. It's all the same that I have in this, but when I actually see, you know, this small little part, it's much easier, it's much manageable. I just understand what I gotta do. So I recommend doing that. It's very easy to set up. You just, you know, write the text, do some pages, 3 MITs, and it's like called to-do list. That's all in Notion. I can actually like link a template if you want, just comment below and I will probably do that if you ask me to. So it's not even monk mode for me because it's not hard. It's just a normal life and it's very fun for me. Why? Because my life is just so simple. It doesn't have too much stimulation. It doesn't have too much video games. It doesn't have any video games or any bad habits. It doesn't have even overstimulating myself. Like in that example I showed you, I just do YouTube. I just read and I just, you know, do some activity, sport activity, right? I'm running, I'm going to the gym and stuff. That's all I do basically. Now, a bit of a disclaimer. You shouldn't become a social autist. Social autist basically when you lock in, you know, this monk mode period where you basically don't talk to any people, you cut off every, you know, human interaction, you know, you become more rude to your siblings for some reason, to your parents. It's not a good thing. I still live my life. I go out, I talk to people, I have weekly adventures, I do cool stuff I want to do. So here in the gym I approach people, I talk to them. Sometimes I go with my brother, sometimes I go with my friend. So I have weekly adventure every single week. Just because I want to live life. I don't want to miss out just sitting in my sweaty room, you know, reading or recording videos, and that's all I'm doing. I want to live life. I want to see what it's about. So I also have like chill calls with my friends from the self-improvement, like Rough Club and stuff. And Polish with that is what I kind of have to learn, but it's still, you know, it's a social time. We're just gonna sit down, watch some, you know, movie on Polish, do some, you know, word count or like learn some words. I'm gonna run ultra marathon in just 1 week. I'm doing all this stuff. Don't become a social autist. It's not an excuse. Monk mode is not an excuse to stop, you know, improving your social skills. You just don't want to leave your comfort zone. That's all. Don't sacrifice your life for cash, especially if you don't have to do that, which basically means you don't want to live your life just, you know, being this depressed millionaire, having millions in your bank account like in 10 years, but saying, bro, I wish I wouldn't wasted my teenage years. I wish I would have lived them actually. I wish I would have talked to that girl or go to that, you know, party or do some cool stuff. Like, I don't really have offline friends. That's why I do this one. If I had online, like offline friends, more offline friends, you know, in some school or something, that would be awesome. I would go there too. So, especially if you don't have to, if you aren't forced, why would you? Cash, especially like as we teenagers, we aren't really pressed that much. I assume you aren't pressed that much to just make money because you still have a few solid years to develop your business, to do it right and to live your life, right? And here's an actionable step for you is to simplify your schedule. Prioritize, which is the first step, and eliminate, which is the second step. In order for you to prioritize, you basically should put your MIT's most important tasks in the first half of your day. So for me, the priority is YouTube, and basically that's it. And like, I want to stay healthy, I want to stay productive, so I go gym, and I also do like YouTube learning, SI learning, right, from Hamza Hormozi, which are like most useful for me. And that's it basically. In the morning, you have the most amount of brain points, you know, your brain is just so refreshed, it's so capable of doing the hard things that why wouldn't you just put everything, you know, you care about in the very beginning? You care about school, study right after you wake up. You care about business, YouTube, do it right after you wake up. And the second step to eliminate is to basically sacrifice what's by two criteria, which is first, highly stimulating. If I do something that's more stimulating than YouTube, I either do it after I have done my YouTube blog, which is basically like Hamza Hormozi is more fun than doing YouTube for some reason. But if it's, you know, some video games, it's basically any bad habit, which is my second criteria, is unnecessary. I just eliminate it because you already know, the tens and tens or even hundreds of reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, why bad habits are harmful for you. So just do it the right way, research this information, and eliminate them. If you don't know already, but I assume you do. In any case, go and do that right now. Prioritize and eliminate some bullshit tasks you shouldn't be doing. Great, so if you found this video valuable, I have a high performance coaching program where I personally work with people, transforming them into high performance all within 3 months period. So if you're interested, click the top link in the description right now and I'll see you there. Improve.